So I'm going to run through the MySQL tutorial for Gallium Data. You can do this on your own machine if you want. All you need is Docker. So the best thing to do to make sure that Docker is running is to run this command here, and the exact version doesn't really matter. So we're going to first create a Docker network. We don't really have to do this, but it's just sort of keeps everything nicely together. And then we're going to start 3 containers, starting with MySQL. Now keep in mind that if you run this on your machine, you'll have to download the images, so it's probably going to take a little bit longer depending on your connection speed. The next one we start is Gallium Data. And obviously there are easier ways of starting 3 instances of or 3 Docker images. But we're just going to do it by hand here just so that you understand what's going on. And then the final instance we start is phpMyAdmin. And we now have this configuration here. So phpMyAdmin is talking to Gallium Data, which is talking to MySQL. Gallium Data, of course, is being the proxy. All right, so let's see what it looks like. We're going to fire up phpMyAdmin, connect as the user that's specified, and we can see that this is just a standard database. We have customers and orders and whatnot. There's a products table here. Notice that some products are marked as discontinued. That we're going to just sort of deal with this in just a second. So, all right, so far so good. Now let's see, let's change how the database works. So this time we're going to connect to Gallium Data. Here I am, and we are going to filter out these discontinued products. So let's take a look at how it's done. So this is called a filter. It's basically going to listen to queries coming in from the client towards the database. It's going to intercept the queries that obey this query pattern. And if they do, then it's going to run this little bit of code here, which is basically going to rewrite the query to exclude anything that's discontinued. So that's it. Let's activate this filter here. And then if we go back here and refresh the data, we're going to see that suddenly the discontinued products are not visible anymore. All right, so that's kind of nice. Now there are other things we can do. Of course, we can our imagination can run wild. So for instance, we could add a limit to the query, or we could reject the query altogether. There's very little that we can do. Another example of Gallium Data here in conjunction with MySQL is changing the data that comes back. So if we take a look at our customers, let's say we've decided, well, we're not that familiar with our customers. We don't want to call them by their first name, so we just want to use the initials instead. And if we have a product that needs to do that, then we can add a response filter. Again, that's going to listen to responses from the database, intercept them, and run just a single line of code here, and replace the first name with just the initials. So I'm going to activate that, go back to phpMyAdmin, and now I only see the first name of my customers. Notice that the client hasn't changed at all. phpMyAdmin has no idea that this is going on. MySQL hasn't changed. It has no idea that this is going on. This is all being done in the proxy. Again, there's a lot of things we could do here. We could hide some rows. We can change some rows. We can insert some rows in result sets. We have complete flexibility. And once we're done, we can just run these commands here, and everything will be removed and all clean. So I hope this has given you sort of a very quick idea of what Gallium Data is and the power that it brings to the table. It really allows you to do things with your application and your databases that are essentially impossible otherwise. So check it out, galliumdata.com. Thanks for watching.